Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm here with Randy Williams. We're here for another episode of Cigar Chat. We're about to light it up. We are here at Sticks. This episode is sponsored by Sticks in Somerville. We talk about upscale environment where you can come enjoy a great drink, enjoy a great cigar, have some great company and great conversations. That's what we're here for. So welcome to another episode of Cigar Chat.
Absolutely, man. This is one of the best places to come. If you're in the area, Somerville, Rawway, you definitely want to check it out. This place is immaculate. Service is next to none. And yeah, man. So I'm trying out a stick today called the Olmec. It's a Nicaraguan cigar. It's my first time trying it, but it's a full body, which, is right up my alley. What are you smoking on today?
I got the Afuenta King, man. I actually am a big fan of Afuentas,
Okay.
and I wanted to go ahead and start with that one. We'll see what I finish with because this will not be the only one today.
Exactly,
But I'm
exactly.
definitely getting started here.
Exactly,
There you
man.
go.
I'm on the same boat with you.
I invited Randy here, to stick so we can have a conversation around the book. I want to have conversations with people I know and respect that will ask me real questions that will bring you guys value. And so I'm so proud of this. Like one of my biggest accomplishments. I want it more than I fear it.
Yeah.
And I talk about a lot of different things. It's not just for real estate agents, and yet every real estate agent can gain something from this book. And so we're going to have a conversation about it and other things. And I hope you guys will stick around for the conversation.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me, man. It is a pleasure and an honor, as someone who is inspired, motivated by you, man. It's good to call you my brother, man. I'm super, super excited, for your success, man. I want it more than I feared. If you don't have it, you got to go get it.
That's right.
And I got mine's autographs, by the man himself. So I'm excited. So let me ask you a question. I know that writing a book for you was a passion project of yours for a very long time, and I know you've been working on it for some time now.
Right.
I wanted more than I feared. How'd you come up with that title?
It was more than the book. I've had this bracelet around my wrist now for about 4 years. And I wanted more than I fear is a personal affirmation for me. And even when I didn't know the affirmation, I wanted more than I feared. I knew Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, which is if you can conceive it, you can achieve it. And this is kind of born out of that.
Right.
Because I had big dreams since I was a little kid, man. Growing up in Cleveland, Ohio, I've had big dreams.
Okay.
I tell this story often about going to this park with my mother and my brother, and to get there we would leave inner city Cleveland and drive through the ritzy neighborhoods. For people in New Jersey, think Alpine, think Upper Saddle River, and we would drive through these neighborhoods, and my mom would stop and we'd look at these nice houses, man, and we'd be like, "That's my house." And I used to always say I want to live in a house like that.
Right, right.
And I could always conceive it in my head. And if you can conceive it, you can achieve it.
That's right.
Except when fear gets in the way. Sometimes fear of failure keeps you from taking action. Sometimes fear of success keeps you from taking action. And there were so many things that I was not doing because I was letting fear get in the way. And I had to tap into my motivation. What do I really want? What do I really want to achieve in life? And once I got hyper focused on that, I wanted it more than I feared any obstacle that would come up. So I just started taking action, man.
Right, right, right. So yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that is beautiful about life. When you start taking action,
Yep.
in spite of being afraid or being fearful of something, that's usually when you actually end up doing the thing that you're scared of and doing it really well.
Absolutely.
Over time. And so, with this book, what are, I guess one or two things that if you had to tell someone who didn't read it yet that they would get out of this book?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, they'll get a better understanding of who I am and why I show up the way I do as a coach. Because I always believe when you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. And I think as agents who read this book, if they would have that same concept when they approach their business and they didn't make it about, I got to earn this commission, I need my next listing, I need this next check, and you made it more about, what does this buyer need? What does this seller need? How can I help them accomplish their goal? When you help them do that, you get your paycheck. And so I think the takeaway from this book is I need to be focused on how I come from contribution. How can I be the best agent to help these people accomplish what they're looking to by selling or buying or investing? That's number one. The other thing is just a lot of times in real estate, you start off and you join a company and there's no training. You're not clear on what you should be doing every single day. is here. This is a blueprint from how you start your day, how you set up your schedule, who you should be talking to, what you should be saying, how you grow your business. All that's in here. So it's a blueprint. And there's no reason for any agent to feel they need to reinvent the wheel. The blueprint's there. You just got to plug and play.
Right.
So they'll walk away with the blueprint. And then lastly, I think the biggest thing that they'll recognize is that there's a component where I talk about taking some time for you and learning how to manage this business as a professional and not be available 24/7. Because I think agents feel like they need to be.
Yeah.
My clients can call me any time of the day. Well, they shouldn't be able to.
Right.
Because when you're saying yes to them, who are you saying no to? Your wife, your kids, yourself?
Yourself, yeah.
And so I think they will get this permission from reading the book to learn to unplug. And I don't just talk about it, I live that. So if you follow me, you know on Mondays, I'm outside. 137.
That's it.
137. Yep. So you know that by following me. So those are the things, 3 major takeaways I think they'll get.
Okay. Well, let's dive into practicality and implementation, I should say. So a lot of times, one of the things we were having a conversation with, and we talk about this all the time, there's no shortage of information. Agents know and entrepreneurs know where to access information. It's usually a problem with implementation. So the mantra, I want it more than I fear it, learning about how you are leveraging, tapping into your why and staying focused and locked in on what matters to you as a reason to why you do what you do, how you overcame your fear. Let's talk about one situation that you and I talked about before, and it's still a thing for you, but you deal with it in a way that I think every agent should deal with things that they're afraid of. And that's the fear of public speaking. Oh my goodness. Right?
Yeah.
If you don't know him, you would think that he's lying, that he doesn't have a fear of public speaking because he always has the camera. He's always doing speaking engagement. We've done so many masterminds together.
Absolutely.
And you cannot tell. When you see David speaking, it just comes natural. He's a natural at it. So, but I know this is a real thing for you. This is not something that's making up. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
So tell me how the mantra and the mindset of I want it more than I fear it has helped you overcome the fear of public speaking.
Man, what a great question. So first and foremost, here's what I will tell you. I don't recognize that David that literally would get up in front of 2 people. Yeah, like, that was real. The sweating like TD Jakes. My knees are buckling. My grandfather's like, "You shaking like a hooker in church." I'm so nervous, man. And I look back at that guy and I'm like, what were you so nervous about?
Right.
And I think a lot of it boils down to I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have anyone speaking into me and encouraging me. And the way this book, this mantra, I want it more than I fear it, helped me get out of that shell and get more comfortable public speaking is that I knew that in order to have the type of life I wanted to have, I needed to be able to step into my purpose. And I started recognizing years ago that my purpose was to be an encourager. I didn't know that I was going to be a coach. I knew that I always leaned into encouraging people to do their very best.
Right.
And the fear was allowing me to feel comfortable where I was, and I kind of hit a plateau. And I just knew, man, in order for me to help more people, I got to shake this fear. I have to do something about it because I want to be an encourager. I want to be up on that stage more than I fear it. Right. So what I did is I started taking action. Like you mentioned implementation, I just started doing things. And the biggest thing I did was make a commitment to me that whenever I had an opportunity to speak, I couldn't say no.
Right.
Even when I wanted to, I had to say yes. And I started off shaking, and every time it got easier. I still get the butterflies. Yeah. I do it anyhow because I want it more than I fear it.
You know how to manage it.
I am learning and mastering how to manage it. It still comes up.
No, it still comes up. No, yeah. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I listen to stories from some of the biggest celebrities, and even Beyonce says that she has the butterflies and she deals with all the anxiety before she goes on stage, but she has learned to tap into this alter ego of hers.
Sasha
Fierce. Yes. That helps her become this fierce woman, fierce performer that the world knows today. So I definitely can understand that. When you created this mantra, was it before you got started coaching or after?
It was after. It was after.
Okay.
And the reason it came up is because I understand in order to get people to take action, logic makes people think. So let's talk about real estate agents. Everybody who gets into real estate knows they have to talk to people. maybe they don't know that in the beginning, but they figure it out pretty quickly.
Sure.
In order to make business, I need to have more conversations, and people were just stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started asking, well, why are you here? What's your big why?
Mm-hmm.
How much money do you want to make? Well, I want to make $100,000. That's the common answer you get.
Right. 6 figures.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept asking why again and really digging into it so I could understand their true motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a saying that goes, logic makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
And as agents, we know logically we have to have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Emotion makes you act.
Mm-hmm.
So when I can tap into what their big why was and really find out what was important to them, for me, it was putting my daughters through college.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle and I both had to put our own selves through college. We didn't want our daughters to have to do that.
Right.
So our big why was to have the money for them.
Mm-hmm.
If that's truly my big why and I'm emotionally attached to that, then I'm going to get up and do the work even if I'm fearful.
That's right.
Even if I'm afraid.
That's right.
So that's where it came from.
Gotcha. Now, being that you are a real estate coach, and this specifically, this book and the content in it doesn't necessarily apply to the technical skill sets that we need as real estate professionals.
Right.
What role do you see this book playing in real estate professionals or realtors that are aspiring to operate as real estate professionals?
I think it just gives you a clear blueprint on what you need to do, how you need to show up every single day. And there's something that I wanted to show you, and I know you saw it just glancing through the book.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing about reading a book, and it's like, okay, that's a really good lesson. I can appreciate what it said. What I added in this book that I think brings a lot of value is action steps. So like this first chapter, we're talking about the big why. So it's like creating a vision board, writing down your big why. But then this implementation, here's what I want you to do now that you have that set up.
Right.
So you have the action steps, you have implementation, and then more importantly, I also put in a social media engagement challenge because for me, I don't want just people buying the book and then not doing anything with it. I want them to connect with me so I can see what your big why is and what keeps you excited and gets you going every day. So I have challenges like share a photo of your big why and tag me on it so that I can interact with people who are buying the book and I can help hold them accountable virtually. Right. So I'm all about the action steps and the implementation as well.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I know that you do 66-day challenges, and I can see some of the actionable steps from here.
Absolutely.
Being part of that 66-day challenge.
Just wrapped it up yesterday. Our most recent challenge. Just wrapped it up.
Nice. And how was it received?
It was received well, especially in the beginning.
Okay.
What I always find out, and it's like this with almost anything, in the beginning people start off, everybody's excited. Mm-hmm. And then as every day goes by, you get people who kind of fall off and they're not as committed.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that the reason why it's a 66-day challenge is said that it takes that many days to create a habit.
Correct.
So the goal is like, what is an activity you know you should be doing, you're not doing? Mm-hmm. Let's do it for 66 days and let's create that habit so that now that's part of your routine.
That's right.
And so, believe it or not, with this most recent challenge, there was only one person who was pretty consistent the entire time. And we started with a group of like 25.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way though. Like I give grace to people because I injured my back and I wasn't able to keep my commitment for the workout going on because my back was injured. So things happen.
Right.
However, when you want it more than you fear, when your why is big enough, you're going to show up like no matter how you're feeling, no matter what your mood is, you're going to show up and do the work anyhow. And there's one agent who did it. I actually just sent her a copy of the book in the mail today as like a congratulation gift because she stayed plugged in and she shows me I won it. She's out in Miami.
Yeah.
Connecting with me here in Jersey. But she showed me every day, like, Chelsea, it was like, I want this. I'm working hard for it. So I was really proud of her, man, for sticking with it.
Yeah, no, that's dope, man. That's dope. And so I saw that you, during your book signing, you had a considerable amount of people that came out to support you and, show up, get a copy of the book, get it signed.
Yeah.
And, I guess, for me, what I would like to know, because you and I, we do a lot of contributions and pouring into other people.
Right.
Right. And it's one thing as someone who is used to doing that on a regular basis. This is a part of who we are, but it's also a part of our profession. And this is the way we excel. How did it feel for you seeing all of those people come out to support you on your special day, man, and just celebrate the launching of this book and the bringing the book to the market?
You want the real answer or the...
Now, give me the real answer.
Real answer? It felt really fucking uncomfortable.
Really? Okay, talk about it.
I'm so used to pouring into people. I want to be
Yeah.
there to support you and encourage you. And when people are coming up and showing up for me, it
Yeah.
feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this
You
ain't
get
about
crunchy.
me, but it is about me. It's my
Yeah.
book signing event, but I
Yeah.
was like, I don't want the attention, and it felt weird in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And the day was such a whirlwind. I can't even remember who came up and said this to me, but someone came up to me and said, "Hey, I hope you recognize all these people in this room. The only reason they're here is because of you. You got people here from Miami, DC,
Mm-hmm.
your brother's here from North Carolina, your best friends are here from Ohio. They're here to support you because you do so much for people.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't allow them to love on you and show how proud they are of you, you're robbing them of something."
That's a good way to think about it.
It is though, right?
I never thought about that before. Okay.
It's kind of like if somebody gives you a compliment and you're like,
Yeah.
they're giving that compliment because they want to feel good about making you feel good.
Right.
And when you buff it off, they're like,
Yeah.
it's not well received.
Yeah.
So I had to sit there and I was like, they're right. I was like, I got to sit back and just accept the love.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. And once I finally just let myself relax a little bit and be like, okay, thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate y'all being here. But the day was like this. It was like a whirlwind. Because so many people were coming at me. I'm signing books. I'm taking pictures. I'm hugging babies. It was crazy. But I started off feeling like this is super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I left feeling charged up. I left feeling recharged. They charged my battery and made me feel really good about what I do every day.
Yeah, man. It's important to do that. I think that I say this all the time. People who are in position to have their cup running over, it's not just for the sake of having your cup running over. It's so that you can pour into other people. But there's going to come a time, whether it's frequently or in the near future or maybe in a distant future.
Right.
There's going to come a time when people are going to want to pour into you, and I think that the book launch and that event was that. Right.
Yeah.
It's time for people to come out and say, "Man, I appreciate what you do. I want to support you. I want to show up." And make sure that you understand how important your role in their lives are, whether they are part of your coaching program, following on social media, whatever. You and I, we connected through social media.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you have been very instrumental in the success of my business and career up until this point. And so I know when those people come out and they show their support, I know it must feel good. It's just that you used to feeling like contributing to other people, so it's a little bit crunchy for you to receive it. But
it was very crunchy. Can I tell you something about that event though that really made it even more special? People were coming out for me to get the book and get their signed copy, but there were several people that walked in that room, and when they saw my wife, they were like, "You're a friend of mine. I feel like I know you."
Yeah.
Because I make a big point, I make a big point to show people I love my wife. I'm taking care of her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm setting an example for my daughters. I'm setting an example for other young men. Like, this is how you take care of your lady.
Right.
And people came in with gifts for my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she got like 3 or 4 gifts.
Wow.
Saying, thank you for allowing David to always be available to pour into us.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. Or we feel like we know you because of how he loves on you in social media, right?
That's cool.
I thought that was huge. And then Michelle and I, we have this ritual at dinner where we say, what was your favorite part of the day?
Right.
We do that every night with us and our daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked Michelle, I said, what was your favorite part of the event?
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one age, and I won't say her name because I just won't say her name. But she came up to Michelle and said, I'm here and I brought my son because I wanted to show him what's possible when you apply yourself.
Mm.
And that made Michelle feel so good about all the things I do.
Right.
That someone brought their son in. Like, I want you to meet this guy. Look at what he's doing. And there's no ego in what I do. I don't view myself like that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see how people view you based on how you show up. And it made her feel good. And her sharing that with me made me feel really good about the event.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. And so that's a really good segue because I want to talk a little bit about your family and get your answer to this question about what does this book mean for your family? Now that you've done it and they know that you've been working on it and they know that it's a passion project of yours, what does this book mean to your family?
So let's start off with my daughters. Both my daughters were there.
Yep.
Taylor was there from college, and they hear me talking on the phone. They know I run a coaching program called Push. They don't see anything.
Yeah.
So when they were there at this event and looking at this book and looking at people come up and talk to me, my oldest daughter was like, Dad, you're popular. I was like, I know a few people. I know a few people. But I think what it does more than anything is it gives them some examples. My wife is in corporate America. She's been doing that for 27 years.
Right.
And they see how successful you can be if you go the corporate route.
Right.
I think what this book shows my daughters is that you can do anything you put your mind to.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
You can be, I have reinvented myself so many times.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? From a real estate investor to a real estate agent to a real estate coach to a published photographer to now a published author. And I'm showing them it's okay to change your mind and decide you want to do something different. You flow with your passion. And I think I'm a good example for them that if it's something that you really want and you want it more than you fear it, you're willing to put the work in, there's so much that can come out of that.
That's a fact.
And I didn't have that example growing up. And I'm just blessed to be able to be that example for my daughters.
Yeah, man. And that's a dope story. And I'm glad that, they got an opportunity to see that. Because I have a daughter, and I'm sure, anybody watching this that has children, they know what you do, but they don't really know what you do.
They don't know what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
And then to see the impact that you have on your community, your market, and the people that you consider part of your tribe is huge. You know what I mean? Because it makes them value you that much more.
Yeah.
So this book was written with the intention to inspire real estate sales professionals and real estate professionals.
That's right.
Do you see the message in this book, the lessons, the actionable items, all of the content in this book? Do you see it transcending real estate and moving into other industries?
I do. And I have plans on doing a second edition of this book because some of the common principles I talk about in the book, like having a routine for your day, having a schedule, time blocking, treating yourself like a professional, having working hours, that's just not real estate specific. This is a book, in my opinion, for 1099 employees, entrepreneurs, people that run their own business, showing them how to structure what they do every single day, but more importantly, how to plug into their why so they don't get complacent, and then also how to take care of yourself so that you don't get worn out. So I think, yes, it can transcend real estate, and it will.
And it will. Yeah, I'm sure it will. Like I said, from what I know about you and, what I know about, what you put into this book, I know that it can, and it does apply to so many different industries.
Yeah.
And anybody that is, of the mindset that they want to achieve something worthwhile, there's some things that we are unsure about, some things we have fears about, that this book can help them speak to, overcome, and conquer it so that they could break through a glass ceiling or reach whatever goal they have.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said, where do you see the next book? What's the direction for the next book? I know it's still early and we're still celebrating and working.
The next book, the second edition of this, or my actual next book I'm working on?
Well, the second edition of this.
So I'm still working on that, but the way I see it is it's going to be a book, again, that transcends real estate. So we're talking about the basic structure of being an independent contractor, but then also having a curriculum workbook that goes along with it. Because what I love to do is be able to go out and speak and teach around the concepts that are covered in this book. I think if more people went out with this positive message about if you can conceive it, you can achieve it, and plugging into your why. Right. And self-care is going to be a bigger part of the next book because I think that's so important. Right. Even if you're in corporate America, to carve out time for you. And so that's where I plan to take that next book. Curriculum based, but also just opening it up so that I can have messaging that transcends real estate.
Right, got you.
Yeah.
So what I would like to see, and I'm gonna put it out in the air.
Tell me, what's up?
I want, and this is just on my wish list, but I want for you to send this book to your mentors, the Gary V. Okay. Right, the Myron Goldens.
Yes.
And I would love for you to get endorsements from them on this book, and then it'll be really dope if you can get an interview or a forward from one of them for your next book.
For the next book.
That would be crazy.
You know what? Challenge accepted. I'm about that because one thing Gary Vee says all the time is you just need more at-bats. You need to ask more times. And so I may have to send him the book and I may have to send him 100 emails.
That's right.
But once he says, okay, the opportunity that opens up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even just an example, you got to shoot your shot.
That's right.
I'm shooting my shot this weekend, man. I'm going to Philadelphia to City Wineries to see my boy AJ McQueen, who is one of my favorite authors, and he has this book called the routine. And he talks about waking up in the morning and thanking God for all the things in your life. And one thing that I focus on is the 137, taking time for you.
Yeah.
And my next book outside of this is the 137 theory, where I really talk about the routine for taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And so I have a podcast around that, Protect Your Peace. And my dream, AJ McQueen, if you see this, is to actually have you do the intro song to that podcast, doing a specialized version of your song Routine for that book and for that podcast.
That'd be dope, man. That'd
So
be
dope.
crazy.
That's my guy right
dope.
there, man.
Yeah, so you got to put it in the atmosphere. So 137, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, sir.
I know it. I'm sure some of your viewers and followers might know it. Could you explain the 137?
I can. So, guys, the 137 is a concept that I did not create. It was introduced to me during COVID. I latched onto it like I created it. So the 137 is a theory about self-care, replenishing. And one thing you may not know about me, and nobody believes me when I say this, I am the biggest introvert you'll ever meet. And introvert does not mean shy, in my opinion. Introvert means when you give and you pour into other people, you get drained and you need to replenish yourself and recharge. And so you got to take time to actually recharge. So the 137 is 1 day off a week. It's a 3-day weekend once a month, and then 7 days off a quarter. And so every Monday, I take Mondays off. I get up, I go hiking, I do my photography, I'll smoke a cigar, I'll do all the things I enjoy on Monday, and there is no work whatsoever. There's one thing that I do on Mondays that I don't consider work. If I'm thinking about somebody in my circle, one of my coaching students, one of the people that I mastermind with, like Randy, or even my wife or my brother or my mother, I'll make 2 or 3 videos, about a minute long. Just, hey, I was thinking about you, wanted you to know this. And I'll send these video messages out to people. And what I find is it makes me feel good to do that and to express how I'm feeling about people. And they love receiving those messages. So that 1 day is just to unplug and don't do anything that's work related. And then you do a 3-day weekend once a month where you unplug. I'm not saying you have to travel. Maybe for that 3-day weekend, you just want to Netflix and chill. I don't care what you do with it, but you unplug and you don't work. And then 7 days off a quarter. Now, if you work in corporate America, you can't do that.
Yeah, unless you got, you got one of them roles,
Exactly.
One of them roles.
One of those VP roles where you can do it. But for us, independent contractors, you guys, 7 days off a quarter. And what I love doing during that time is traveling. My wife and I love to travel. And so we get it in. And I unplug and really get a chance to just enjoy life and enjoy her company, and more importantly, enjoy my company as well.
Yeah. So I think, we did a pretty good job of showing the man behind the book and, behind Push. But I want to do something a little different.
Huh.
All right. Let's do a rapid fire round of questions.
Let's go.
All right.
Hold on. Let me wet my whistle.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? Might as well do it together. Got to cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
What's one fear that David Radney has that he crushed?
Well, besides public speaking, because we already talked about that.
Okay, yeah.
Fear of bridges.
Yes, talk about
I had a big fear of bridges, man, where I remember I was going to D.C. to Howard's Homecoming, and Chesapeake Bridge, I think.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's crazy.
I felt like I wanted to stop the car in the middle of traffic, put it in park, and make Michelle drive.
Wow.
Like, it was that bad. I felt like, I don't know if I could drive over this bridge.
Most people that don't have a fear of bridges have to fear that bridge.
It's something special, man. And mine came from some childhood trauma where in Cleveland, Ohio, we were coming back from snow sledding and bobsledding with my dad, and we were on the freeway and it was snowing really bad. The salt trucks hadn't come yet, so the roads were really slippery, and my dad's car started to lose traction, and we started going backwards. And we were kind of moving, and I looked in the back, and we would have went over the bridge if he wasn't able to get traction.
Yeah.
And I just remember freaking out and screaming in the car. Mm-hmm. And that's the only thing I can remember on the bridge that really scared me, and I think that's where that trauma came from. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I did everything I could. I would still drive over bridges. It might be 15 miles an hour, but I would still do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I got to figure this out. How can I beat this? And I heard somebody talking about getting hypnotized. And I was like, I didn't believe it. I was like, that stuff ain't real. You ain't gonna have me quacking like a duck and all that crazy stuff. But I started doing research and talking to people who had done it. So I went and did it. Mm-hmm. And it actually worked.
And actually worked.
He replaced that negative memory and the way it made me feel with something positive.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, hey, now go drive over a bridge. So I left his office, went and drove over a bridge, and I was like, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, so did he tell you, like, all right, there's a bottle of bourbon and a cigar on the other side of the bridge? That's what you got to imagine.
What he did is he had me take myself now as a grown adult, walk up to that car before we went over the bridge, open the door, grab young David out,
Mm-hmm.
and then he put me into a place that I found peace, which is the ocean. I love being at the ocean.
Yeah.
And he said, now put David into a boat, safe boat, and let him just kind of sell off.
Okay.
And I was awake during the whole time. It wasn't like I was knocked out. We were having this conversation, but he was in here and just kind of switched that memory out. So when I drove over that bridge, I was like, I think I'm okay, but this is an easy bridge. Let me go drive over a bridge that I know scared me.
Yeah. Did he have like a teacup?
No, he wasn't. What was that movie?
Get Out?
Get Out. It wasn't the Get Out. He wasn't doing that. But it did make me feel a little uncomfortable at first. I was like, what is going to happen? How much control will he have over me?
Right.
And when he put me at ease and said, I'm not putting you to sleep. You're going to be here. We're going to be talking.
Okay.
It made me so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
And I went up to Bear Mountain, man, and drove over that bridge because that bridge scared me.
Yeah, it's crazy too.
And not only did I drive over it, I parked my car and I walked across it.
Wow.
I was like, I'm cured.
Yeah,
I'm cured, man. So it's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's it. So what's one other fear that you still have that you're working on besides that? And the reason I'm asking this question is to show the viewers that although you wrote a book about you want it more than you fear it, it does not remove the fact that you still have fears and you're doing things in spite of and you're working towards overcoming them.
It's the thing you hear about a lot. It's not failing. It's the fear of success.
Right.
That's really a big fear of mine.
Okay, talk about that one because that's something that a lot of people don't really explore.
Right.
We've talked about it collectively and individually on our mindset calls, and I think a lot of people actually have the fear of success, but they just haven't explored it yet.
They haven't explored it.
Yeah, so talk about that.
So when I say fear of success, what I mean is I look at other coaches that are doing it at a high level.
Right.
And I started paying attention to their schedule and how many conferences they had. And I started thinking, that's not the life I want. I'm afraid of being that successful because I don't want to be on the road 250 days out of 365. That is not enjoyable to me. And so I think that was part of the fear of success is being so busy that I couldn't even do my 137 and unplug.
Okay.
I gave myself permission though to really think about it differently and say, yes, you can have that life, but you can do it on your terms.
That's right.
You don't have to travel 250. You can travel maybe 100. And so I started thinking, well, if I am traveling, how can I really make that work for me? And it's my photography business. Well, if I'm traveling around the world and I take my camera, when I'm done teaching, then I can go see the rest of the world and take photos and really enjoy it.
Right.
So then I'm not feeling like I'm so overwhelmed with work because I get to plug in something that brings me a lot of joy with it as well.
Yeah, you gotta have that. You gotta mix it up, and I think being an entrepreneur and doing things on your own terms allows for that autonomy to not have everything just be about work.
Yeah.
Right. We need to make sure that we're doing things that makes life worth living. So that's so important.
Absolutely. And then also, I just want to say this really quick, just to add to it. I think the other part, if I'm just being transparent about the fear of success, is if you are successful, if I write this book and it takes off, and then I try to expand on that and that fails, then how are people going to view me if I don't keep that run of success going?
Oh, yeah.
However, though, when you really think about it, you're not going to be successful at everything. You're going to fail at some things, but you learn when you fail. So as long as you take that failure and say, what did I learn from that? And get back on that horse and keep riding, you can create an opportunity to win again. It doesn't mean that you permanently failed. It was just one setback. And the people who are watching you, if they really are cheering for you and in your corner, they're going to be cheering for you to get back on that horse because you're inspiring them as well.
Yeah, man. I think people love a good storyline and they love a journey, right?
Right.
And when people really view you the way that they view you as such a genuine person, just so authentic, the highs, the lows, everything in between, it just makes for a better story and it makes for people to resonate more with your journey. So I
Right.
think that's equally important. So the last rapid fire question I have for you.
Not so rapid. I talk too much.
Not so rapid, but
Not so
rapid. We both do, man. We both do. So everything is gonna be conversational.
Yeah, no doubt.
But what's one line from the book that you want to make sure, or you would like for people to never forget, besides the mantra?
Man, it goes more into a personal story.
Okay.
You and I briefly touched on it. It was about the weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
I keep the picture on my phone, man, because sometimes I need to be reminded of how much weight, like how big I was. I've shown you pictures before, right?
Definitely.
Dude, I almost got up to 300 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
You know, and not taking care of myself. And because of that, I became a type 2 diabetic. And I just want people to remember the line that my doctor said to me that actually made me do something different.
Mm-hmm.
He said, David, when you're in the store, and every time I go grocery shopping, I think about it. He said, when you're at the store and you see that Reese's peanut butter cup and you pick it up, you're making the decision. Do you want the Reese's peanut butter cup or do you want your fucking feet? That plays in my head so much, right? But the reason why I want people to walk away with that and really marinate on what he said to me is we all wake up every day and we can make a choice on how we want our life to go.
Right.
And we can make decisions that aren't going to serve us, or we can make decisions that are going to help us become a better person. It's completely up to us. The power is in our hands. And so I want people to just walk away knowing that whether you're in real estate sales or any other form of sales, every morning you wake up, you have a choice. What do you want to do?
Right.
And how bad do you want it?
You gotta want it more than you fear.
You gotta want it more than you fear. So that's it for me.
That's it, man. Well, thank you, man, for giving me the opportunity
Appreciate
and the pleasure to
Yes,
interview you about this book, man. And I'm looking forward to the impact that it's gonna have on our industry. I see how much you mean to the people that are within your network, within your tribe. And man, you did something amazing with this book, man. And I can't wait to see what comes next out of this thing, man.
My man, I
All right, man.
appreciate you.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you guys for being with us again. We're here at my favorite cigar in Somerville, Sticks Cigars. If you want to vibe, if you want to be able to come in and work, or hell, do a podcast, where else can you go and do that where you don't have all the noise and distraction? This is an upscale environment, upscale atmosphere. Come check it out one day. Cheers, you guys.
Peace.